Hello everybody, this is the version of the video with commentary. If you'd prefer to watch the video without commentary, then that video is also available. If you just go to my channel, you can find it. It will be uploaded on the same day as this video. So first, I just want to give a quick channel update. I'll be moving to a 3-day per week upload schedule. I haven't decided 100% on the days, but probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's really hot in Japan at the moment, and that makes it more difficult to make these videos, and also I have quite a lot going on at the moment, but I will definitely be doing at least 3 videos a week, and hopefully once it cools down a bit and my schedule's better, I'll be able to do some in addition to those 3. So this is Todaiji in Nara. Todaiji actually refers to the entire temple complex. However, in this video we're going to specifically be looking at the Great Buddha Hall, which houses the world's largest bronze statue of the Buddha Vairocana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's a Hindi word. And this is known in Japan as a Daibutsu, or basically just a big Buddha statue. So I'll start with a little bit of historical context. So this temple complex and the Buddha were built during the Nara period of Japanese history. That's going from AD 710 to 794. And during this time, Nara was the capital of Japan. And also, of course, it's subject to historical interpretation, but generally historians see the Nara period as a time when there was a great Chinese influence on Japan. So with Japan adopting the Chinese writing system that you see with kanji, Chinese fashion, and demonstrated here, a Chinese version of Buddhism. So despite being originally an Indian religion, it was through the Chinese that Japan embraced Buddhism. And the decision to build this temple complex and the statue of the Buddha was the decision of Emperor Shomu. So Emperor Shomu reigned as the Emperor of Japan from 729 AD until 749. And his reign was marked by a lot of hardship, attempted coups, natural disasters, an epidemic of smallpox. And it was against this backdrop of suffering and hardship that he took the decision to build not only this temple complex and Buddha statue, but also the provincial temples that he built throughout Japan. You can see someone in the distance entering the building, which gives you an idea of how huge it is. It's 57 meters long, 50 meters wide, and 49 meters high. And that by itself is really impressive, but what's more crazy is to know that the original building was actually 30% bigger. The original building was opened in 752 AD, but as you might imagine from it being a huge wooden building, it's been rebuilt twice after fire. So the current building that you're looking at was finished in 1709. So the Buddha is the first thing that you see when you enter the hall. I'll just give you some statistics about the size. So it has a height of 14.98 meters. The face is 5.33 meters. The eyes themselves are just over a meter. The nose 50 centimeters, and the ears 2.5 meters. And on top of the Buddha's head you have 960 curls. And also the halo behind the Buddha is 27 meters in diameter, and the statue weighs 500,000 kilograms. To look at it now, it's a really, really impressive building, and the statue itself is awe-inspiring, especially when you're actually standing there looking at it. But I think it's even crazier to think that this was built on an even larger scale, more than 1,000 years ago. Also, no nails were used to construct this building. Everything is held together using complex wooden joints. In 1743, construction began on the bronze Buddha, and the emperor decided that the people of Japan should be directly involved in the construction of the temples and the Daibutsu. A generous interpretation would be that he saw it as a way to unite people throughout Japan around a common cause, though I guess a more cynical interpretation is that he knew how costly these endeavours would be, and he needed to justify the taxation that he put upon people. So, according to records, more than 2.6 million people helped to construct the Great Buddha and its hall. Some people contributing directly with their labour, and other people giving rice, wood, metal, cloth. So this is a model of the kite's tails which are on the top of the building. So they put this here just so that you can see it up close and appreciate the scale of it, because when you see them on the top of the building, from down below they look really small, but when you're here you can realise that they're more than 3 meters tall. And it's not solid gold, it's wood with copper and then actual gold leaf on the top. There was a lot of gold used in the original building, which opened in 752 AD. In fact, I have the exact number here. 440 kilograms of gold was used. Wow. 440 kilograms of gold. And in addition to that, you also had 499 tons of bronze. Wow, that's a lot of metal. So the construction of everything began in 743, but it took a long time. Obviously, one, due to the scale of the construction, but also due to multiple fires and earthquakes. But the Buddha was eventually completed in 751 AD, and then a year later, in 752, the eye opening ceremony was held. So the eye opening ceremony being the official opening of the hall and revealing of the Buddha statue. And this was a huge event. It was attended by 10,000 monks, 4,000 dancers, and many important Buddhist figures from other countries such as India and China. I just mentioned the huge amounts of gold and bronze that were used in the construction, and the bronze came from Japan itself, though taking 500 tons of it for the construction of this work must have been a huge strain on the supply. But when it comes to the gold, none of that was from Japan itself. It was almost entirely imported. So that must have come at a huge financial cost for Japan. The current bronze Buddha is very beautiful, but it must have been quite something else to see the same scale Buddha covered in gold. Emperor Shomu not only directed the construction, but was apparently also directly involved, along with his entire court. And in 749, 3 years before the eye-opening ceremony, he abdicated in favour of his daughter, who would then become Empress Korken. After retiring, the emperor then became a Buddhist priest, so his dedication to Buddhism can't really be questioned. And following this, his wife, Empress Komyo, also took vows in becoming a Buddhist nun. And this is Komo Kuten, the wide-eyed guardian. In his hands he has a scroll and a writing brush, and he is one of the guardians of the hall. He is one of the 4 heavenly kings. With the construction of the temple in Buddha being such a massive undertaking, there are a lot of interesting facts about the process. As I mentioned before, the original temple was even bigger than it is today. Originally, the building was 86 meters wide, so that's 29 meters wider than the current building is. And also, as I said, so much gold was used in the original construction because the original Buddha was covered in gold. Now we're just going to go to the back of the building where you can see a model showing what the original construction looked like. So yeah, you can see it here ahead of us, and the main difference between the original and the current one is the 2 pagodas. So these pagodas either side were around 100 meters in height, which, considering this was more than 1,000 years ago, made them some of the tallest structures in the world. I'll now read the proclamation of the Emperor Shomu on the erection of the great Buddha image. Having respectfully succeeded to the throne through no virtue of our own, out of a constant solicitude for all men, We have been ever intent on aiding them to reach the shore of the Buddha land. Already, even in the distant sea coast of this land, have been made to feel the influence of our benevolence and regard for others. And yet, not everywhere in this land do men enjoy the grace of Buddha's law. Our fervent desire is that under the aegis of the three treasures, the benefits of peace may be brought to all in heaven and earth, even animals and plants, sharing in its fruits, for all time to come. We take this occasion to proclaim our great vow of erecting an image of Lakana Buddha in gold and copper. We wish to make the utmost use of the nation's resources of metal in the casting of this image, and also to level off the high hill on which the great edifice is to be raised, so that the entire land may be joined with us in the fellowship of Buddhism, and enjoying common the advantages with which this undertaking affords to the attainment of Buddhahood. It is we who possess the wealth of the land. It is we who possess all power in the land. With this wealth and power at our command, we have resolved to create this venerable object of worship. The task would appear to be an easy one, and yet a lack of sufficient forethought on our part might result in the people's being put to great trouble in vain, for the Buddha's heart would never be touched if, in the process, calumny and bitterness were provoked, which led unwittingly to crime and sin. Therefore, all who join in the fellowship of this undertaking must be sincerely pious in order to obtain its great blessings, and they must pay daily homage to Lakana Buddha, so that with the constant devotion each may proceed to the creation of Lakana Buddha. If there are some desirous of helping in the construction of this image, though they have no more to offer than a twig or a handful of dirt, they should be permitted to do so. The provincial and county authorities are not to disturb and harass the people by making arbitrary demands on them in the name of this project. This is to be proclaimed far and wide so that all may understand our intentions in this matter. This is Bishamon, god of war and a punisher of evildoers. At the base of this column there's a small hole which is said to be the Buddha's nostril, so the same size as the nostril on the Buddha, and mainly children crawl through the hole, and it's said that if you do so then you'll be granted a degree of enlightenment in the next life. But with the current situation, that's being considered too risky for spreading things around, so they closed it off. But if you come here under normal circumstances, you'll see lots of children queuing up to try and fit through it. Finally, I just want to end with a little bit of practical information about coming here. This is in Nara, and it's only a short walk from the train station. So the easiest way to get here is to arrive using the Kintetsu line, and then from Kintetsu Nara station it's roughly a kilometer away. And the walk to the temple from the station is really, really nice, because you can walk through another temple complex called Fukuji, and then you pass through Nara Park, which has lots and lots of wild deer which are very used to human contact, so you can feed them and pet them, and you can get them to bow to you to ask for deer cookies. So it's a really magical place. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give it a like, leave a comment down below, and also if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And for everyone who has subscribed to the channel so far, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. So maybe you noticed earlier that there was a little edit. That was because I came in from the outside where it was quite bright and then into this dark hall, and now I got my aperture about 2.8, and I'm just gonna go outside at the end and you'll see the camera blinded by the light. So see you in the next video.